welcome to the 49ers First and 10 podcast, 10 minutes of the most up-to-date 49ers news first thing in the morning. I'm your host, Breon McDonald. Joining me is team reporter Lindsay Polares. In today's episode, we're covering an eventful weekend for the 49ers. It was eventful and heavy for the team. In between two contract signings or restructures, there was also a tragic incident with wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, but we do have some positive updates coming from that. Lindsay, are you able to share the latest from John Lynch and the team on what happened?
Yeah, so in a Tuesday press conference, general manager and president of football operations of the 49ers, John Lynch, was able to address the really heavy incident of the weekend. As I'm sure a lot of people have seen the news headlines, even on a national level, rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was the victim of an armed robbery attempt. He ended up, taking a bullet to the chest in the process. Something pretty unprecedented for this team. And like we mentioned, very heavy, traumatic for sure. Was able to share some positive updates. Ricky Pearsall has been released from the hospital. And like John Lynch mentioned, by the grace of God, is very much trending in the right direction. He was actually at the facility yesterday. And although, obviously he is taking steps in the positive direction, this is a very traumatic event, both physically, mentally, emotionally. So the 49ers have, as of Monday, placed Pearsall on the non-football injury list. That means that for at least the first 4 weeks of the season, Ricky Pearsall will not be seeing any playing time. This makes total sense. Lynch mentioned that this was a quick decision by the team, and they relied heavily on medical staff to make it. And it's really just to give Ricky time to both physically heal from his wound and also take time to process, a traumatic event. There's really no other way to describe it. Very much he has the support of the team, the front office, the coaching staff. The 49ers are very much rallying around Ricky Pearsall. And again, just happy to report that he is out of the hospital just days after all this took place on Saturday afternoon.
Definitely, and faithful, listen in as General Manager John Lynch shares the latest on Pearsall's situation.
We just all feel incredibly blessed. Was able to be down at the hospital, and if I heard it from one person, I heard it from so many down there. It was nothing short of miraculous that he came out of this as good as he did. On behalf of Ricky and his family, I talked with Ricky this morning. He just wants to express, and the team wants to express, our gratitude to a variety of people. Number one, the San Francisco Police Department. They were incredible in their response. They were incredible at the hospital. I want to, in particular, recognize Joelle Harrell. I've met Joelle. I met her husband, Frank, who happened to be in charge of everything at the hospital at San Francisco General. But his wife was the first on the scene, and I think we've all seen the measures she went to make Ricky comfortable, and she was there for him in a real rough time. And I know how appreciative Ricky is of that. We're appreciative to the entire police department. They just were tremendous, from the police chief, Bill Scott, on down. The folks at San Francisco General, the care that they gave Ricky and his family, the respect, the way they handled things was just was unbelievable, and we're eternally grateful for that.
Friday was a big day for the faithful, the organization, and for wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. Lindsay, tell us about BA's deal with the Niners and how he'll be in the red and gold for this foreseeable future.
So as of Friday, this marks the second chapter of Brandon Aiyuk's story with the 49ers. He will be in red and gold through the 2028 season. One of the critical pieces that was we were waiting on during the course of the off season. It was all smiles during that contract signing, and we actually were able to hear from Brandon Aiyuk on Tuesday as well. He says he's feeling light. He's got this new energy, and he's very much ready to go, was the direct quote that we heard from him. So definitely huge congratulations on him taking the next step in his career and doing so right here in the Bay Area with the red and gold. He said ultimately, things happen during contract negotiations, but this is the position that he wanted to be in. He wanted to be in red and gold, and he's happy to just this is not really a return because he was here, but he's happy to be, in full swing of things headed into Monday Night Football week 1 with this team. Sounds like this is exactly where he wanted to be.
I feel light. I feel like I said, I feel light. I feel more ready than if it didn't go out this way. So I'm super excited, feeling fresh, feeling renewed, coming with new energy. So just excited to play football again.
Absolutely. So then on Tuesday, it was the first practice back for the 49ers, and there was a lot happening in the building. Brandon Aiyuk was back working with the team. We saw Trent Williams in the building, and then also Christian McCaffrey was suited up for practice. He was looking pretty good. But let's start with Trent, since he was a big name during this offseason and a big name to the 49ers offense. Tell us about Trent's restructure or what that looks like with his contract.
Yeah, so Trent Williams had a number of years remaining on his contract. He was in the process of a holdout this offseason. And when he spoke to the media on Tuesday, he said that his number one goal of having his contract restructured was security. Trent Williams is in the later stages of his career, but with still plenty of energy and desire and all pro level play left in him. But he said he was after security. And these were conversations that were ongoing with the 49ers. And I thought what was really cool is that it sounds like he was paying very, very close attention to all the happenings of the team while he was gone. I think he was asked specifically about the incoming rookie class, which he really has not had much contact with, but he was able to name off accomplishments of training camp in the preseason and just memorable plays from each of those rookies. He mentioned Dominic Pooney, Malik Mustafa. Honestly, he mentioned the entire rookie class. So I think that's a huge nod to get some compliments from an All-Pro left tackle. He's very happy to be back, and we had a very brief open period to the media. I was only out there for just a few minutes of practice on Tuesday. It was about a 5-minute open period to media, but I saw Trent Williams come out to the field and give running backs coach Bobby Turner a huge hug, just like a welcome back hug. This is a very joyous occasion, it seems like. And like you mentioned, we also saw I was honestly watching mostly just running and stretching drills and like a lot of a warm up period. But I was able to see Christian McCaffrey fully suited, doing his warm up drills, and also BA returning for his first practice since his hold in. So, final pieces of the 49ers are all back together. And I think, all the fan base is certainly very excited from what I've seen on social media. Again, joyous occasion for everyone.
I'm going to play as long as I can. As long as I feel like I'm a productive player, as long as I feel like I have something to offer, I'm going to want to play football. It's all I've done since the second grade. But like you mentioned, Father Time is undefeated from what we've seen. Obviously, you can fight him off for a little bit. But that's, just going through this process, that was kind of the goal. Like, I told myself, obviously this deal's done, get it out the way, but how I've always conducted myself after signing the deal. I've never thought about what I signed for. I thought about what I could get next and how could I prove that I'm worth that, and how can I prove that I'm worth more, or how could I, so that's kind of go right back to that, getting this deal out the way. And, I want to play until I'm 40. I want to be, seeing Whitworth win the Super Bowl at 41 or 42. It's like, why not me? So who knows if you get compensated at the top of your position at the age of 40. But, I don't think that matters to me. If I can still be out there, I just want to continue to knock barriers down. And, I know at my age, it's probably, there's not been a lot of people to play at an all-pro level outside of a quarterback, and I just want to continue to bust those barriers and continue to show that, this is a new age. And, the research that we've done and what they've done and how they've sculpted our schedules to kind of keep us fresher and keep the banging off of our bodies, I think it does allow you to play longer, and I want to take advantage of that.
They seem locked in and ready to face the New York Jets on Monday Night Football here at Levi's Stadium. Brandon Aiyuk, like you said, Lindsay, was feeling refreshed, ready to go, but he also is keying in on the defense and looking right across that line. He said that there's a lot of familiar faces with the Jets, with Robert Saleh as their head coach and seeing Javon Kinlaw on their defensive line now. Lindsay, what do you think this familiar face matchup is going to look like on Monday?
This is the first time that Kyle Shanahan is facing Robert Saleh in a regular season game, a former defensive coordinator for the Niners. So I know that it just amps it up a little bit, I think. And we'll definitely hear more from Kyle Shanahan. I'm sure it'll be a question that's asked during the course of the week leading up to Monday Night Football. But I think it probably has a little bit of an effect on it.
I know that the team is excited. The faithful are super excited to be here this Monday night. But faithful, that will do it for today's episode. Subscribe for more 49ers updates and turn on the notifications for any breaking news, Move the Chains episodes. Thanks for tuning in.